Zachary Fjord, the man on the other side of me, screamed in my ear. One of the combatants was dragged away by two men in black and white striped shirts. I'd never seen someone wearing ice skates dig his heels in, but somehow he managed. The other fighter, surrounded by a huddle of players in Austin Thunderbirds jerseys, wasn't moving. "He's not hurt, is he?" I leaned forward with my arms on the ledge in front of me. Zach and his business partner, Savannah Goodwin, had treated us to seats in a private box. I'd never been to a hockey game before, and they assured me that these were the best seats in the house. We were sitting in a row of padded chairs overlooking the center of the rink. Behind us was a tall counter with more chairs, a table laden with snacks, and a small refrigerator stocked with beer, water, and soda. "Beckel? He'll be fine. He's tougher than he looks. I should know. I used to date his ex-wife, and that woman is absolutely feral. Though he did just go 3 rounds with Miller the Killer." Zach shrugged. "Seriously, Miller is a menace. He's been suspended more times than I can count. He should be in jail, not on the ice." "You dated Beckel's ex?" Bo asked. "Well, she wasn't his ex at the time, if you know what I mean," Zach replied with a snarky grin. "Classy," Bo muttered before I could say anything. Beckel, in his Austin Thunderbirds jersey, was helped to his feet. He waved at the crowd, which went ballistic. The other players started beating the ends of their sticks against the nearest surface, making a racket as he gingerly skated off the ice. "See, he's fine," Zach said. The guy who'd started the fight, Miller, was escorted to the penalty box. Our guy disappeared behind the bench. Another Thunderbird in a blue and orange jersey, who hadn't been involved in the play at all, skated over to sit down in our penalty box. I must have looked confused, because Zach explained. While they cleared the ice, the crowd quieted down, but they were still pumping in loud music over the speakers. It was easier now to hold a conversation without shouting, but that didn't keep him from leaning in a little closer to me than was absolutely necessary while he talked. "Matching majors, but since Beckel is getting patched up, someone has to sit for him." "Huh?" I asked. When I'd enthusiastically agreed to attend a hockey game, I didn't realize that the rules were apparently written in some gibberish language I'd never heard before. 5 for fighting," Zach said. "Oh, like the band," I said. Now it was Zach's turn to look confused. "What?" "You know, if you want to get into the record business, you're going to have to expand your musical knowledge," I told him. "I am in the record business. I already own one record store, Rhythm and Brews in Galveston, remember?" he said. Like Sip and Spin Records, Rhythm and Brews sold music and coffee drinks. Unlike our shop, their drinks had boring names like cappuccino and espresso. Ours had musically themed names like Bohemian Frapsody. Zach and his partner Savannah were investors in Rhythm and Brews, which made them part owners. Zach, like Bo, was a year or so older than me, which put him around 29 or 30. We'd been classmates at University of Texas. I majored in computer languages and software development. He'd majored in beer bongs and wild parties. We ran in very different circles, except for a few weeks during the fall of my sophomore year when he dated and eventually cheated on one of my study buddies. To be completely honest, I barely remembered him from college, but when he called the shop out of the blue last week, he swore I'd left quite the impression on him. He was an average height, average weight, average white frat boy, the kind who wore khaki shorts and polo shirts with the collars popped up. He came from money and wasn't shy about making sure people knew it. Zach was the guy who'd park his BMW, always this year's model, of course, in the reserved spaces because, according to him, a ticket was just the cost of doing business. His business was owning other businesses, and now he had his sights set on mine. Not that my sisters or I were interested in selling Sip and Spin records. Granted, we'd been open for 6 months, and we'd barely made enough to cover the cost of rent and stock, but we had a steady stream of customers.